Hello and welcome to a new edition of Design for the Times. I'm your host, Richard Christopher Scuderi. Well, today I have a guest that's been in studio before and not really all that long ago. His name is Attila Huebscher. Now that must have been hard in second grade to write, right? 2 lines to get all those letters out.
It's still hard for most people.
And Attila was with us a bit ago, maybe within the last 6 months, talking about the reason I know him, and that's the hardwood floor business that he has. And we talked about different types of wood and species. And we were talking recently about the show and new and interesting things. And he brought up something that he has another business, one that I know very little about. But part of, I think, living in a home and your lifestyle is also health. And we're going to do 1 or 2 shows this season on your healthy home. And one of the things that we have to worry about in New Jersey and in parts of the country is our water. So let me introduce Attila, and then why don't you tell us a little bit how you got into this and the product itself, because I'm really, typically before a show I go into something and I have enough knowledge. I'm very blind on this particular product. So tell us how you started and about the product.
Well, we spoke a little bit before. You said that you knew about alkaline and acidity.
Right, alkaline and acidity, but that's about it.
Well, that's the biggest part of it, right? So of any water, really. Even the home water, some well waters are about good. There's something called pH level. So so your body has a standard pH level of 7. No matter what you do, no matter what you...
7 is neutral?
Yes, 7
pH 7 is neutral.
Yes,
okay.
3 is, or 2 to 3 is very low. 9 to 10 is very high. So you don't want always a high pH, but you don't want...
high means acidic?
Acidic, no, alkaline, that would be high, would be high. Low would be acidic.
Oh, like low is acidic.
Yes.
High is alkaline.
Correct.
Oh, it's the opposite of what I thought. No. Low is acidic.
So for instance, I don't want to say a name, but any soda, for instance, any carbonated soda, or should I say most carbonated sodas have a pH of about 3 to 3.5. So when you drink that, you don't feel anything because it's no big deal. The body says, okay, this tastes good. It's a lot of sugar. Some of them have tar in it, believe it or not. So a lot of things are like, okay, this is a lot of sugar. I'm excited. Your body says. So, but what that does internally for you is it lowers your pH balance. It lowers your pH to like average between 7 and 3.5 is give or take 5, 5.7, something like that. So you want to build that back up. Otherwise, the body takes it from somewhere else.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, the body, like I said, the body wants to be 7 no matter what you do.
Sure.
So it wants to take it from typically your bones. So it takes the calcium and the items it needs.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, from your bones. And
well, I've always thought. Now I have issues with hiatal hernia and GERD, and I've often been told that you want to introduce things into your body that are more alkaline to do that balance for you.
And you can't always get that from every food either. No. There's a lot of foods that are alkaline and good for you.
Well, I have an issue with diet soda. I don't like regular soda, but I find that diet soda fills me up. So I was on a kick for many years that I would drink a Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi.
But that also increases calories as well. Even the diet is a 0 calorie, but they put other things in there that...
Correct, which aren't good for you losing weight. But having said that, I was having much more issues with my esophagus because, again, if it was a level 3 and you should be at 7, it's creating acid into your esophagus.
Correct.
Which is not good for you.
It is absolutely not.
Let me ask you a question then about being alkaline. So if neutral is 7...
7.36 is the optimum body.
Oh, show off. Okay.
I learned that from working here.
So, but having said that, is it also bad for your health if you're supposed to be at 7 and you're at 9 with alkaline?
Yes.
Tell me why.
Because you're overcompensating. You're too alkaline, like a battery. Look at it, a battery, right? So if it's too fully charged or then you have other issues. You can't be 2 of anything. You can't be too low. You can't be too high. It has to be around 7. Around. I mean, clearly not everybody can control it, but around. So in the beginning, you asked me, how did I get into this?
Right.
Well, being in my construction days, I went up and down a lot, ladders, kneeling, everything else, and my joints started to hurt. And I thought, oh, I'm getting too old for this construction thing.
Right.
Well, besides the fact that I am getting too old for the construction thing, It turned out I went to the doctors, and they said that I have something called high uric acid or an acid. It's called gout.
Yeah, I know about this well because my dad had gout.
Okay.
High uric acid.
Very high uric acid. and I drank it. Oh, you're eating very king-like foods like cheeses and shrimp.
Rich.
Right. And anything a king would eat back in the good old days. So I said, but I'm not. That's the whole thing. I'm really not. I'm not eating a lot of those items. And he says, well, you have to try something different. I said, great. I'm already walking. What more can I do? And he says, well, do you drink? I said, I drink like a fish. Literally, I drink gallons a day. I generally literally drink about 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons a day, which is a lot
of water.
Of water, just plain old water. And I said, I told her that that's a woman doctor. I told her that that's not helping. She said, try to increase a little bit of your alkaline. And I was okay. I'll try. So I bought coincidentally alkaline water.
Right. And
it did nothing for 3 weeks. But the 4th to 5th week, I have to tell you, I didn't change. Keep in mind, I didn't change anything in my diet. Nothing. All I did was change from regular water to the alkaline water. This is also antioxidant alkaline water. Okay. So it basically detoxifies your body.
Right.
And I swear to you, I don't have to take any more pills. I don't have to worry about, there's no more gout. I could walk normal. Because I used to walk like, not that it matters how old I am, but I used to walk like a 90-year-old person because it hurt so bad.
Sure.
And now that went away. So out of personal experience, I believe in the product. And I hear a lot of different stories from a lot of different people that there's a lot of ways of making alkaline. And that's where I was going to venture into. Is I heard a lot of different things from a lot of different people that, oh, I can make my own alkaline water. I don't need to buy this stuff. It's okay. So how do you make it? So, lemon juice and, baking soda. So that's,
well, lemon juice is an acid.
That's what I did. Yes, but they read online that all these things create your alkaline higher.
Right.
But they don't realize that that's only one little aspect of the whole picture.
Sure.
So every one of these products contain a reasonable amount of potassium. For instance, this one has a 65 milligram of potassium. You need about 3,000 to 3,500 milligrams per day, which you can't obtain always from food. So let's say banana, for instance.
Right.
When you eat a banana, what do? You eat it, goes right to your stomach, and it gets absorbed sooner or later.
Right.
With water, it's pretty much instant because you put it in, it goes instantly into your bloodstream, into your cells.
It doesn't have to break down.
It doesn't have to break down. So yes, it seems like 65 milligrams is not a lot, but it ends up being percentage-wise more than if you eat some type of food.
So let's say you decide to try this. It's Alkazone.
Very good.
Like Alkazone.
Alkazone, correct.
All right. So if I try this product, which I'm sure I probably will, how then do you measure? Like when I was doing the keto diet,
yes,
you use the sticks, the keto sticks.
There's actually an alkaline testing strips that you could do.
So the same type of thing.
The same type, either.
What color does it go? Does it change? Like what color is it?
It depends. I know you're gonna ask me. It really depends on the. It's not a stick. Well, it's a type of. It's a stick, yes, almost like when you test your pool or something.
Well, you're not going to get the number 7. So
no.
I'm trying to figure out how you're going to get where you are in your alkaline acid base.
Actually, that's a hard thing to test yourself. I actually had it tested at the doctor's. When I first
had a blood test?
Yes, okay. That's very good as a blood test. When I first started, it was 8.6 was my acidity level.
Right.
And now it's a 7.4.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. And she said it's going down. Like, so it's really, and that's all, keep in mind, nothing changed except for my water intake.
All right, there's a lot of products.
Yes.
Here, so I'm going to start with the first one. I'll try to get it into my cam.
Okay.
And this says Alkazone, and it says balance your pH. Is this something different than some of the other stuff? And this is it looks to me almost like my contact lens solution.
Sadly but true, yes.
But it's drops that you're putting
into
regular water. So and people are using tap water.
Correct. So
I'm thinking the bottles are so small, you'd have to go through 1 million of these a day.
Well, and that's the point. But this is more convenient. This is for on-the-go people.
Well, if you're in the car, right?
For instance.
So you would buy these and then put them in how much?
Depends on the product. In that particular one, it's 3 drops per every 8 ounces of water. So for every regular glass is about 8 ounces, right? So you do
3 drops for every 8 ounce glass of water.
And it balances. I don't know if you need the glasses. I know I do. But if you look at the ingredients, it'll say what's included. It says potassium is one of the ingredients. This was our flagship product.
Right.
This is the first product that came out in 1994.
Wow, that's a long time.
It's a long time ago. And then since then, and that's the very first product. and that created the whole trend of what's coming up next.
So what does this particular box have that the next one doesn't have? What's the difference? What is the specialty of this one?
Simply, that's our first product, and not only potassium with a very little selenium.
Okay.
And on the next one, which is no problem.
You said go in order.
Yes, yes.
It says balance your pH, and there's some.
It's a plus with different fruits, because now that has zinc, magnesium, selenium, and potassium.
Okay.
So it has more minerals in there.
Or antioxidants.
More,
right?
Very good.
Okay.
More. So you do know a lot more than you think you did. See.
Oh, yeah.
So
okay.
that was that.
So that's the second.
That's the second one.
Look at the third one.
This
is added potassium.
That's liquid potassium as is. That's liquid potassium.
So it's not this. It's something completely different. This is just potassium.
It is just potassium.
So if you're somebody who's potassium deficient,
correct. Very good.
Right.
That helps with potassium.
Wow.
Efficiency. Yes.
And then we have the last one here, which is an
make your own alkaline water. Correct.
Now, how is this different than that?
Again, just the ingredients. That is not as strong. It has less milligrams of potassium in it than the Balance Your pH. Balance Your pH is meant for the fitness or the people that need to get their levels up relatively quickly. And about make your own alkaline water is, so let's say someone uses reverse osmosis for their house or something, and they just want to keep their items in check. That would be the way to go.
Before we move on, I want to talk a little bit about water itself.
Okay.
We're kind of a weird, densely populated state, and part of our state is very urban and has city water.
Yes.
Sometimes you go to North Jersey, Jersey City, all these places, you have very old pipes.
Pipes,
and,
yeah.
You know, I'm sure God knows what you're dealing with, because you're dealing with old pipes.
Sure.
Then you go to the western part of the state and the southern part of the state, where we have all wells.
Wells, yeah. But there's pros and cons in both, believe it or not.
Would city water, because city water has fluoride, right?
It does. It does.
Right. Would city water be a better? Tend to be more acidic, or would well water be more acidic because it's full of minerals? Do you follow what I'm saying?
I do. I exactly know. But the thing with the well water, especially, I forgot the year, but I think back in 2000 and something, whether it be 5 or 6 or 7, New Jersey particularly had a law that you need to test every single water as you make a home sale.
Right.
Okay. So even now, even on new construction, you have to test the water. So you have to install things like water softeners, purification systems. If you have something bad in the water, you have to have like an infrared system to take out the bad bacteria. So I wouldn't say one is better or worse. I understand the question. I do.
Just the difference in water of where you're beginning with, because I do believe...
The only thing is, like, with the well, we know there's not too much dirt unless you won't run the well drier, right? But with the city water, yes, I agree, you may have some contaminants, but unfortunately, these products don't take out the contaminants. They only help you with the missing nutrients or minerals that are in the water.
Now, you have different bottles here.
They're exactly the same make, if you may. They have the same ingredients. The only difference is convenience of size. So, like, this would be, if I sit by my desk all day, the 1 liter is the biggest size we sell.
Okay, so
at the moment,
liters, for a successful or a healthy day, how many liters?
I drink 2, based on my own, because they say anywhere between 6 to 8 glasses of 8-ounce glasses a day is the norm. I drink 2.5 liters of that. And I drink two of those and 1 of these.
Wow.
A day.
Do you find it hard to get the water down?
That's the whole point. No, I don't like the taste of water.
Is there any flavor to this?
0 flavorings, 0 chemicals. Matter of fact, if you read there's a green label on the side.
Okay.
It says it's clean, crisp.
Right.
So no, there is no flavorings. You don't taste anything. As a matter of fact, it's pure. So it tastes, I don't know. I don't want to compare it to anyone. Yeah, neutral. I can't say spring water because it's not spring. It is well water. It's ultra purified water.
That, but if I go out to certain parts of the country, I know some. You know, if you go to New York State, you know the water's going to be delicious because it comes out from the reservoirs of New York State and even the boroughs. But if I go to LA, the water tastes like swimming pool water. It's terrible.
Okay, so you get the idea.
Water.
This is actually the main manufacturing facility is in Mount Bethel, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And then the water comes currently from Maryland. It's a well, and it's ultra purified. So I hate to say it doesn't matter where the water comes from, because the ultra purification process takes out everything that's bad, taste, odor, whatever, and then the mineral process goes after that.
So, but this is the biggest size. You wouldn't have like a water cooler in this, right?
Not yet.
Okay.
That is in the works, but
so this is good because you're saying, okay, I'm driving all day today. I'm going from appointment to appointment.
Exactly.
And you carry it with you.
That's exactly what I do.
You could, well, to a degree, you could make the water and put it in a container.
You may do that as well. Like,
but you're not getting the extra value of it being.
It's easy. This is just comfort. Honestly, it's just literally comfort.
Right.
That's it. Other than that, there's no difference.
If you say...
This is like a concentrated version of this.
If you say, I'd want to do this to improve my health.
Okay.
But I can't handle all that water. If you were to add something to this, like let's say, I'm going to take, for example, Crystal Light, which I think is way too sweet. If you took something like that and you added it, a little bit of it, to the water just so it was more palatable, does it affect?
No, as a matter of fact, any non-carbonated drink, so you could put it in juice, tea, coffee, anything that's non-carbonated, because carbonated.
And what about you just kind of got me to the question, what about the beverage being boiled or hot?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't take the potassium away because it's.
No, well, clearly, if you're going to cook it another 10 minutes after you put it in, or whatever, 5 minutes, then we haven't tested that.
My question is
but like tea, hot tea, yeah, no problem.
Instead of making my tea with regular water, if I make.
I see. I thought you meant the drops. I'm sorry, you're switching topic.
No.
Gotcha.
Let's say instead of, I'm trying to get my water in, and I'm trying to.
Gotcha. Nope,
so
it won't. I
see.
With
the tea.
That's what we do at work.
Okay.
We have a little tea machine, and
so the heat doesn't take away from it.
Not even a little. I apologize. I thought you meant the drops. If you drop them.
Now I see another couple over there.
Yes,
also different.
These are for human purposes.
Okay.
We also have something called for pets.
Okay.
So it's the same exact size, except here you will, if you want to take a look at it. It's alkaline water for pets, currently for cats and dogs. And if you take a look at the ingredients, you'll see that it's about the same ingredients as for the human side.
Right.
It's on the side. The only difference is it's a little bit more concentrated for cats and dogs because their immune system is a little bit different than humans. Now, that being said, we can drink this. And matter of fact, I do drink this. It's just because it says cats and dogs doesn't make it any worse.
So this is more concentrated.
It's differently, not more. It's a different set of ingredients.
The reason I was thinking that was sort of surprising is because the body mass of a dog or a cat is so much different than a human.
Correct. That's the reason.
It would be less concentrated.
It's different. It's a different set of formula. It's just. It's not nothing to do with the quantity of the concentrate, more or less. It's how it's produced.
And then there's just two different sizes.
Correct. That's the liter, and then this is the 16.9.
Now, if you're having a pet, I would imagine you would give a big dog more water than you would give a small cat.
No, this is a matter of how much they drink. That's irrelevant. Because I have a dog, a little dog, and he drinks this all the time. And it's funny because in the beginning we just gave him regular water from filtered water from our tap.
Okay.
He never drank it all. I always had to clean the bowl because his face went in there. It got dirty.
Right.
This he drinks like.
Not interesting.
And that's the biggest feedback is that they actually, and it doesn't. The dog doesn't smell like a dog. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but when he licked.
No, my dog. Funny, I had a black lab. My dog smelled like corn chips.
No kidding.
And the reason the dog smelled like corn chips is I think the feed that he said had cornmeal in it.
Yeah, so it takes.
And you are
over time what you eat.
Right. It wasn't a gross smell. He was clean, but he smelled like corn chips. So the same thing I think would fall through with something like that.
Yes, and that gets rid of the yellow stains on the grass when they urinate. The dogs in particular. And we have a lady that works in town, and she says, my cat litter smells awfully acidic, and it's horrible. And the internet advice she got was change the litter more often.
Isn't it interesting?
And she was like, no, I don't want to change the litter more often. That's the point. I come home, I don't want to smell it. So she now started using the water, and I I hadn't heard any negative feedback, so and they keep coming back, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Let's talk about the kits for the animals as opposed
And I
to
also I was going to say these are both. I handed you both because it's easier for you to reach. But one is multi-mineral drops, and the other one is that's the multi-mineral drops.
Right.
Again, if you look at the ingredients, it's on the other side there. If you look at the ingredients, you'll see the ingredients are different than the for the human, but it's
what they need.
It's what they need, both cats and dogs. Pigeon, we have one for pigeons as well, but that's a different mix as well because the pigeons has a different body mass than a cat or a dog.
And this is
that's what's in the water. That's the same thing as though if you do the water, the mineral drops is almost like the Balance You pH Plus on the human version.
Interesting.
And again, it's to maintain the pet's health, overall health.
Again, so if we were doing the pet water and we're doing as a kit, what's the ratio of how many drops?
It's the same thing. It's exactly the same ratio. 3 to 4 drops. That's a 4 drop. That's 3 drops for every 8 ounces. So typically you would get a bowl about a cup of water anyway. And you can't over medicate. Like you can't, like if you put, let's say you've lost count because you were distracted with a phone or something, right? So if I already added 3 drops and the phone rang and I said, now did I add 3 drops or not? It doesn't matter if you add 3 more drops. Sooner or later, it becomes undrinkable if you add too much. It's too alkaline, yeah. But it's not bad for you. It's just you won't do it.
Acid and alkaline also have a taste.
They do.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Over a bit.
No, people have come to my house and said to me many times, "Your water's delicious," especially if they come from an urban environment.
Yes, because it's different.
And I think it's water. It's not delicious.
No, water is not water. Believe it or not, I thought the same. Some people actually taste because this is a 9.5 pH. If you see the label, it says pH 9.5 plus.
Right.
So a 9.5 pH. Some people say, "Oh, this tastes very metally." I'm like, really? But then I have the next guy, same water. I pour this cup. He doesn't taste a thing. It really matters of the person itself. But and occasionally I see we sell the product on Amazon, and a couple of reviews are like, "Oh, this must be old because I taste metal." But it shouldn't taste like metal. But in their taste buds, they translate it for themselves as the closest taste they can associate with.
Right.
But it's nothing wrong with it. It's just their tastes are different. Everybody's tastes are different, right?
What about using this to make ice cubes?
There's no reason not to. As a matter of fact, dare I say this, but do you remember Umazuma in Mexico when you go and you can't drink the ice cube because it makes you...
Right. Well, I very much, when I went to Mexico, and I did not, amongst a group, ever get sick because I didn't have any lettuce, because you wash the
lettuce, yeah.
And my drinks never had any ice cubes in.
Okay, but if you had done that, you would have gotten sick. But yes, so my answer to you is ice cubes are perfectly an acceptable form.
Right.
So there's no... If I see your question, you can't unfreeze it. You can't I'm sure you can over boil it occasionally, but under normal
to
tea,
keep the properties correct.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about too much.
If some of our viewers are saying, "Oh, I'd like to try this," how do they? Well, first of all, I'm going to give your information. I'll give it one more before the end of the broadcast.
No problem.
You're a dealer.
No, we're the manufacturer.
You're the manufacturer.
We're the manufacturer.
So how does someone go about purchasing this?
The easiest way, we have a website.
Okay.
If you want.
Yes.
It's very easy. Alkazone.com. That's ALKAZONE.com. One word. Alkazone.com. We have our store there.
Mm-hmm.
If for some reason you don't feel comfortable in purchasing from our website, Amazon.com and Walmart.com both have our products on their website as well.
So not in the stores, but you have it on the
There's a couple of stores that have it, but locally in Pennsylvania. I could mention a couple if you'd like, but for instance, Mount Bethel Beverage on Route 512 in Mount Bethel, Pennsylvania carries our water.
Right.
The drops are carried by different distributors, UNFI, for instance, they're a large distributor where they distribute to other people. So they carried the water as well. So different stores do have them, but I can't say go to this store because they have it.
Sure.
North Shore in Long Island has it, for instance, Rhode Island, I should say. So they have different people carry different things.
So the best way to purchase is either through the website.
For now, the website.
And then or Amazon or Walmart.com.
Correct.
Okay. What would you suggest if someone is trying it for the first time? Are they better off starting with the drops to see how it works? Is it better off? What would you suggest?
See, so a lot of people ask me like, "Oh, I don't know if it works. I can't prove it."
It's intimidating.
It is. I get that, but just look at it this way. And a very good analogy that actually I was told by one of my customers. He says, "Think about it as you're eating chocolate. Like you're eating a little bit of chocolate every day. You don't notice because you're eating the chocolate, but sooner or later your rump is going to get bigger, and your stomach's going to get bigger because of that chocolate that you're eating.
Right.
So it's almost the same in principle as the water. You may not notice it right away, but it is working, and you notice it like weeks out. And the way you notice it is when you go to the bathroom, it's going to be more productive for you. So in other words, the point of this is to get rid of the acid in your body. Your urine may smell for a little bit because you're getting rid of the acid that's built up. That's what happened to me. That's how I know.
When people have, because of the photosynthesis, when people have asparagus like that.
Something like that.
Right.
Yes. In my case, it was bad in the beginning, and now I'm telling you, it's gone. And it doesn't matter if I'm with the company or not. I definitely would do this alkaline, because there's different ways of making alkaline. I think we touched upon the subject. There's baking soda. I tried a lot of those. It's not the same, because even though you raise your pH, you're still not getting the minerals. It's the minerals that you're missing.
What would you think would be a prudent way to say, all right, I'm going to try this, and you purchase it. You do a baseline at the doctor of your acidity, or you have gout, or God forbid I go for my next blood test and find out I have gout like my dad have. What would you think would be a reasonable amount of time to use the product before you check your blood again?
6 to 8 weeks is what I did with my doctor.
That's an awfully short time.
It is. I did 8 weeks, 2 months.
Were you also eliminating all of the beverages, or just taking?
No, I didn't have. All I drink is water. I don't drink any other.
You don't drink any other beverage?
I drink nothing else. I don't drink coffee. Occasionally I drink tea at nights, but 90% of the time I drink water.
So I'm on a fast right now, this intermittent fasting, but I have to have a cup of coffee in the morning.
You could add that. You could add
I could put this in a pot. I wouldn't want to perk it because I think you're cooking it too much. But if I had a pod, I could use this water.
Yeah, that's what we do at work. That's exactly. I think I told you the pod. They have coffee and tea pods, and that's exactly the water we use at work.
It's interesting. Is it a big investment? Is there anything else that you have to buy? A special container?
Nope. Simply it comes with the self-container. Any bowl, any cup, doesn't matter. There's nothing. That's the whole point of this. There's nothing special, additional to purchase. There used to be an ionizing machine that you could buy, that water ionizer, and that takes all the bad nutrients and chemicals that you don't need out of the water, and it gives you crisp, clean water. That's almost.
We're going through a period of time, I think, with the earth and the changes, that this is very topical.
Yeah.
To keep your water clean and pure, and make sure you're ingesting healthy, clean water more than ever, probably.
Well, it's always important, but yes, now it's interesting. The world around us is getting interesting for sure.
Because we see what we've done to our world, and a lot of that has to do with our health. So water is an essential part of life. So I find this quite interesting. One more time, why don't you give the website where people can purchase?
Sure. It is www.alkazone.com.
Alkazone.com. Okay.
Yes.
And then the websites where you can get it besides the main website.
It would be Amazon.com under Alkazone. If you just search Alkazone, it comes up all our products. And Walmart.com also has it, all the drops. They don't have the water, but they have all the drops. And on our website, if they would contact me, Attila, directly from the website, because it has the phone number right on there.
Do you want to give your phone number out too, or no?
I can, sure. It's 1-800-810-1888. So it's 1-800-810-1888. If they ask for me and tell them that it's from your show, I could give them a substantial discount off the first order.
Guys, I'm taking this.
Thanks to Richard.
Done, I'm take this.
Thanks to Richard.
How it is.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'd be more than happy to.
It was a pleasure having you on.
Always an honor.
Talking about something different, but very relevant to our health today. Thank you for being my guest.
Thank you, sir.